Today's November 19th, 2025. There's Sally. That's Sally. And Mr. T. Alright, what? Speaking of Mr. T, actually, last night I was talking about how I had the realization of the lowercase t going up, and so now you can see it better. Look. Hey. I don't know if you can see it real good. But I need more. I need another 4x4 by 8 so I can cut it in half, so I can make one more post for the rail. Well, look. All right. So now, see, now you can see. Now you can see the upward lowercase t that I was talking about. Hey. Lowercase t. And I got both sides of my plywood painted. It's a little bit still tacky. I gotta let it dry more, at least on that side. The other side, the underneath side of both of those are already dry. I'll let that dry, and then, hey, I'm gonna start right there, and then go across, climb every mountain. That's what I was gonna say. And then on the big peak going all the way up, I'll make that like the peak of the mountain. But that's gonna be a trip, man. When you're actually climbing that wall and you get all the way up, that's 24 feet up to the top of that. And 24 feet might not sound like a lot on the ground, but it's a lot when you're going straight up in the air. Oh, Sally's taking a dump. I won't show that. But look, I just kind of now it's coming actually into fruition, and today is a very special day, because now I can actually see the formation of something, and I'm almost getting ready to actually figure out how I'm gonna actually make my climbing wall, because not like I have unlimited resources. But one way or the other, even if it's all out of wood, I don't care. Because look, man, I'm getting a lot of exercise just building this thing. Seriously. Okay, and let me just show you one more thing. I spaced these 2x6s going across out so that it could be like monkey bars. Hey, look. Hey. Anyway, you grab them like that. You got hand holes like that, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm throwing around the idea of using different things. Rock, river boulders, going up, or wood at first and then fill it in later with river boulders and mortar, stuff like that. But today is a special day. It's November 19th, I think, or 18th. Let me see. 19th. And actually today, or it was last night and today, I started hearing major things happened in a positive front for America. And that is, number one, the Epstein files that they're talking about, you know, like all the discovery information and everything like that, videotapes, gigabytes of information, videotapes, all that kind of stuff, information every kind you could imagine, testimony from the girls that were given reports early on that they can't even hardly remember what they even said. But no justice has ever been given for them because it was covered up, a whitewash for the rich and powerful. And this outrage has captivated America, which makes me feel so good that I actually can finally have hope. And I've seen even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who used to be a woo-woo kind of conspiracy theorist, kind of attacker of people on the, what you call the political left, and criticizing, you know, stuff like about the deep state and everything like that, you know. I mean, she just still does talk about the Uniparty, but at least, all right, now it seems like both the Democrats and the Republicans, well, at least with the advent of Marjorie Taylor Greene's conversion, understand that, okay, the Uniparty is actually the people above the Republicans and the Democrats. They are the autocratic oligarchs. The people will want to dictate, and the people, even though they are bound by some laws, they still do have a lot of control over what's called the algorithm, which is a computer terminology for code. Okay, because when you write code, it's like it goes like through the process of if this then that, and things are categorized, and that's why they're having so many problems with actually getting it right, and things kind of go haywire on the people that are trying to do bad things with the algorithm. Because like the algorithm says, okay, anything that has anything, if they say the word gay, for example, then get rid of that. So like in, I don't know, World War I or something, there was some plane called gay something or other. I think actually one of them would actually landed the bomb on Hiroshima. It was actually called like some gay or something like that. But anyway, so the algorithm got rid of stuff that it wasn't supposed to get rid of, and then they made the discovery at least countrywide, these guys are just trying to bend the narrative to suit their needs. And so number one thing is the Epstein files, quote unquote, got passed in the House and passed in the Senate in rapid succession. And even though there's a lot to be said about that process and everything like that, that's really not the point of my happiness right now. The fact is, my happiness is that it actually came through, okay? Now, the next battle is going to be like, what happens? Like, the president didn't sign it yet, and they're already making provision for, like, not disclosing everything because they're trying to talk about some kind of fake new investigation so they can't release everything. But it's going to come out. And while I was working, I was listening to something broadcast by this old fella who's been around a long time, and he even pointed out the fact that he's been around a long time, and I'm pretty sure it was Warren Buffett, who is a rich guy, but he's been around a long time, and he said, in no uncertain terms, he said, Jack Smith has got the goods on Donald Trump, all right? He said if it wasn't for presidential immunity, Trump would already be in jail, and they're trying to sort that out because the fact is, if he doesn't get prosecuted for his crimes, when it is absolutely obvious that he knew what he was doing on July 6th, and he is responsible, not only for destruction and chaos, but for death and injury. And you still got people, because he pardoned all them people that did all that destruction for him in his name. He pardoned them. And so now these oath keepers is what they're called. I heard the guy talking, and he said, "We're ready, Mr. Trump, for our reemployment. They've been pardoned once. They know they'll get pardoned again. So there's no telling what could happen." But the fact is, things are coming to a crisis, and I feel a lot of power right now, like in my spirit and in my hope. Actually, which I've always had a problem, with like stirring up hope, Okay. Well, now it's actually being stirred up. I actually feel hope and faith that the truth is look, there is no truth. There's nothing but truth at the top of the mountaintop, all right? Nothing but truth. There ain't no bullshit up there, okay? You get up to the top of the mountain, all right, you don't get up there by, bullshit. You get up there, hard work, differentiation of things that you have to put in the balance, in the scales of justice, stuff like that. And even though it's a hard climb, it's worth it. Sally, like, Sally, what do you say? Oh, baby, you're just a little dog baby. I know. And okay, so that's the one thing about the Epstein files. The other thing is that Pam Bondi trying to bring charges against and President Trump trying to bring charges against Trump's enemies like James Comey. Sally, you're a little baby dog. And today, one of the judges pointed out that Lindsay Halligan has been exposed about what she did in the grand jury. She actually made like a fake. She actually presented to the judge like a fake signage from the grand jury. I can't believe it. She's going to be disbarred. And rightly so. But the thing about Warren Buffett is that he said that, it's time now. The crisis is here, okay? Okay, well, crisis actually means you got a ball, and then you got a crack, and it splits in half into two. That's a crisis, okay? And that happens in cell reproduction. There's crisis in when cells divide and make two, and then that's called a crisis. And there's been another couple ones that were very important today. That's how they do that. Like, start getting up there. Okay, look. That's how they do that. And, okay, I just show you Okay, and also Mike Johnson, they call him MAGA Mike. He's also on the bend or whatever you call that. I mean, I don't know why he was trying to work for Trump so hard, but it didn't work for him. And everybody else has been working for him and ain't working out so good for him anymore. And look, okay. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I got that just in time. I was wondering what happened. My TV just went off. But that said was Miss Bondi's quick response on Friday to Mr. Trump's demand of an investigation in Democrats also amounted to a complete about-face in her case from her abandon 4 months ago, when she formally declared that nothing in the Epstein files warranted further investigation. And now she's trying to open up a new investigation. All right. That's that. Now, I wish I could remember what the other one was. Well, you know, it's not only Lindsay Halligan is being defeated, Pam Bondi is being exposed, and even the FBI guy, Kash Patel, who's just a showman. This is all off show. It's all for show. And speaking of show, all right, that's what. Look, see what this is. Ringling Brothers, Barnum Bailey. The greatest show on earth. Circus. That is Steve Marshall's, and he is actually a great magician now, but you know, he was a little bit younger than me, my brother's best friend, and I helped him out, and you know, he's not around here, so I kept some of the stuff for him, like his mom's rocking chair that I still got to fix again. And of course, I didn't throw that jacket away, even though it's all ripped up and everything. Look. All right. The big story with me and him did, helping his dad. And but talking about the story and the show, a lot of stuff is really coming out now that it's just for show. And everything that like Trump does, you know, most times it's just for show. Lying constantly, big, tremendous lies that you could not even believe. Especially the lie about the tariffs, like saying that, you know, he brought in like $22 trillion in money, and he can't give it all back. When the fact of the matter is, he didn't even bring in $1 trillion. He brought in like maybe, I think it's like 500 billion or something, but not 22 trillion. But everything he lies and lies and lies. And that's why this whole last season of life has just been, if you listen to the news, lies and lies and lies, and in the name of Jesus Christ, lies. In the name of Jesus Christ, lies. Using the name of Jesus Christ, taking the name of God in vain. That's Mike Johnson. Fronting, lying, deceiving. And now Donald Trump in the news, buddying up to Joe Hoby's that Saudi Arabian guy, Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi's killer. MGB. Well, is it MGB? I got an MGB out there. I don't know. I can't remember anyway what they call him. But he's the Prince of Saudi Arabia. And the killer by order of Jamal Khashoggi. And in cahoots about the 9/11 destruction of the Twin Towers. And now Donald Trump is buddying up to him. Butt huckers. And so we give him, for some kind of benefit, mostly so for Trump and his family, their endeavors building some Trump Tower or something in Saudi Arabia, so we give the Saudis our secret, our advanced serums and technology, for AI chips and stuff, so Saudi Arabia can just go ahead and sell it to China. And America is going to be getting right up the butthole. And that's why I'm putting on my sign out there, about dung butter and dildos. Because I think I'll make a very telling point about that. It's a historic moment in time, all right? It's a very historic moment in time. And so the Epstein files have been released. They're the signage is sitting on Trump's desk to sign, okay? They're still trying to work something out, but it's been passed through the House and the Senate with no exceptions. And Lindsay Halligan has been defunct and found out. And there's a couple more things that happened that are really astounding. And I might have to put those realizations off for another time. But in conjunction with this happy day of at least the Epstein files, tariffs. I do believe that Trump's tariffs, are going to be found out to be illegal. And I also think that Jack Smith, even though they said that he wasn't, qualified, or so he did all the work, all right? They're just trying to silence him because he's got the goods on Trump. And I tell you, another person, Epstein, said they downloaded a bunch of his emails and stuff, and Epstein said, I got the goods on Trump. Epstein said, look, if you want to get rid of Trump, you consult me because I got the goods on Trump. And so that's why he was killed. He didn't kill himself. He figured he would get a pardon just like Ghislaine Maxwell, however you say her name. Ghislaine, I don't know. Maxwell. But they killed him. And see, they're finding out now Israel is involved in everything. From the surveillance systems that are being employed to murder. Because Charlie Kirk turned against Israel, and that's why they're thinking he really got murdered. Same thing with Epstein. Epstein was murdered because he had to be silenced, and things are coming to a turning point. And actually, that was Charlie Kirk's phrase for his organizational turning point. But things are actually at the turning point now. And the kimchi is hitting the fan. And I'm very happy about today. Today is a very good day. And also because I see the formation of my own tower that lowercase t is going up. It's like that, okay? That's a T. That's T going out that way. All right, look at that. Capital T. But, that's lowercase t. And it just came. It just came. A very, it's a very synchronistic kind of way. And then all this happy news that I got today, you know, on the back of actually for the first time, actually like, seeing, what The Simpsons and South Park are actually doing, and the fact that I know that there's a lot of young people that like that, and older people too, listen to it, and you can't say it's not talking about actually like truth in a metaphorical kind of way, and it makes me very, very happy. And so they say Pam Bondi visibly near panic. Attack as her Epstein lies are or something or other. But I seen her talking, and you can tell by just looking at her face that she's like devastated beyond repair, and she knows there's no way out for her, because like Martin Luther King said, the arc of justice is long, but it bends toward the truth. Okay. And in conjunction with this, I'm talking about truth, and that's another T. See? Truth always starts with T. And, the truth is prevailing. And I'm just going to stop this one right here. Because on this day, on November 19th, I can honestly say that truth is marching on. That's it. But so the bottom line for me is, like, I'm making these talks because I'm hoping that someday you or my grandchildren will actually be encouraged by the fact that truth can still march on, and you have to climb the mountain of truth. And that's why I'm building this out here, because I believe in climbing the mountain of truth. All right. And I want you to also. And you got to prepare yourself to do it. All right. You got to be grounded. You got to have inspiration. You got to develop, core values and virtue, the kind of virtues that make you strong inside. All right. Strong inside. And then march on. Well, I just want to call this one a march on. All right.